Alright everyone, whoop, almost slipped. It's been raining here and the pool's really full. You can see that it's not overflowing, but it's getting there. So perfect time to do a video on how to do a backwash, which is good maintenance to do to clean out the filter. It's also a good way to get rid of water in the pool. So for the pool to operate properly, we really want this pool to be higher than this pool. So we're going to drop probably that much out of the pool so that this pool sits higher and it sort of flows off this little waterfall down into this pool. And to do that, we're also going to perform a backwash, which is going to take all of the water from here. It's going to flush it through the filter and clean out our filter, make sure that it's nice and clean and working properly. You might also do this if the creepy crawler is losing a bit of suction and you've sort of problem solved this and had a look and it's all working and there's no blockage in the skimmer box or whatever. You might make your way back and do a backwash as you sort of make your way down the line of problem solving the pool. So I'll show you what we do. So at the moment the water's being sucked up through this pipe into the skimmer box, down under the ground, round the back to, oh, it's raining on me now, down the back, all the way under the ground here, and it's being sucked up by the pump. So the pump's sucking all the water up here, and it's putting it through this multi-port valve. So this valve decides where the water's going to go around in the system. At the moment it's on filter. This little locking point determines where the water's going. So it's going down into the filter, like filtering out all the bad bits through all of this sand, and then it's sucking up through the bottom past our chlorinator cell. So this is the little cell that makes the chlorine as it passes. I think this is a zinc plate, sort of picks up a couple of electrons from this little device here and turns it into chlorine, and then back down and then through a couple more pipes and then back into the pool. So the things you want to know about when you're performing a backwash is this thing here. This is the multi-port valve. So like I said, this tells you where the water's going. So I have a little visual aid here. We have inside these multi-port valves is this plunger, which sits on top of, it's a bit dirty, sits on top of all of these little cells, and they go down to different parts in the all of these pipes coming off. So the filter one goes down, as I said, into this big black container and filters out all the things. One thing to note is as this plunger sits on, this has got a spider gasket. It's the rubber seal that keeps everything pressurized. As things are coming up through the pump and into this, you can get like little bits of rock and grime and things that sort of accumulate under here, and they'll actually stop the seal working properly, and they'll actually allow a little bit of water to trickle off down our waste runoff. So this is the waste runoff here. Goes all the way to the garden, and that's where our water's going to flow off. And all the sort of yucky stuff from the filter is going to end up there. But if this spider gasket isn't sealing properly, it will allow a little bit of water to trickle out. So if you're problem solving, it's good to have a look. If the filter is running like this, you can come down to the end of the hose and you can sometimes pull it. It's a little bit harder now, but you can pull it out. And if water is slowly leaking out, which it isn't now because it's sealing properly, if it's sort of slowly leaking out of that, you'll start to notice that the pool will drop in level, and you're like, oh, why are we having to fill the pool up all the time? But sometimes that can mean that the spider gasket has got some grit under there. And I'll show you how to sort of my way of clearing that, but occasionally it means that you actually have to take this off and manually go in there and you know, run a little toothbrush along the rubber grommets to clear it, which is a bit of a pain of the job, and I'm hoping you guys won't have to do that, but I can certainly step by step you through that as well if we need. So to start a backwash, we're going to first make sure that our exit line isn't kinked. We're not going to get any back pressure, so that's nice and it's all going down to the garden. We're going to turn off the system. So at the moment it's set to timer. That's usually what it'll be on, so the clock's setting the timer. So turn it off onto the middle. And then we're going to wait for our system to depressurize. Bubble, 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 bubble. And then we're going to push down on here. And we're going to move our handle all the way around. Now that moves nice and easy. All the way around to backwash. And I did say it moves nice and easy because occasionally you'll find that it's really crunchy. So you'll get to like here, you'll go, and it won't move very far. So if that happens, I want you to move it across to rinse, and then we're just going to switch it on, manual or timer, doesn't matter which one. So what's happening here is it's no longer coming through here, it's sending it through all the pipes and then out our exit line. So coming out our coming out our exit line nice and safe, and this is quite a lot of pressure, which is why it's good to not have any kinks. So it's not crunchy, it's nice and smooth, but if it is for you guys, what you can do is you can just lift up a little bit, you push down on that, and it's going to allow a little bit of water through here. One, done. We're going to push down a little bit, and then lift it up. Down a little bit, and push it down. So that's actually lifting up that plunger and letting a little bit of water through to wash out any grit and things in there. And 9 times out of 10 that actually works. So we'll turn this off and we'll get to actually backwashing. So this is nice and smooth. Move it around to backwash. Okay, and the same thing's going to happen, but instead of rushing it through the pipes, it's actually going to push it the other way back through the filter, and it's going to push all of the gritty, gross stuff that's been sitting in the filter, and it's going to spit it out the waste. This one should be pretty clean, but occasionally it comes out a bit milky. I just did a backwash yesterday because we've had a bit of rain, so I'm going to do another one just to drain the pool, but it's always good to do a backwash. So we set it to backwash, and then we turned on the we can do a walk down and have a look. Yep, coming out. So we can usually run that for sort of 3 minutes, or round the back of this is a little sight port, so that's the colour of the water that's coming up. So if you haven't done a backwash in a while, this will actually be pretty crusty, and you'll see like bits and pieces flying through sort of periodically. You'll probably see little like flakes of dirt and stuff occasionally tumbling through here, but this should be pretty clean. There's a couple of bits and bobs. What you don't want to be seeing when you're doing a backwash is water cascading through here. That means that seal is not sitting down properly. So if that happens while you're doing a backwash, you can just do that little boop, let a little bit of water through, and then snap it back off. But in this case, we know that it's quite sealed, and that'll dry up, and we're not getting any water coming through. So we know that the system's nice and pressurized. While you're doing the backwash, so it's about 3 minutes or as long as it takes to get that site glass clear. While you're doing it, you want to keep an eye out on the level of the pool. In the summer, if you need to do a backwash, sometimes you need to put a bit of water in the pool just by the hose. Thankfully today we've had the rain, so we're not wasting water as much. So I'm going to go over 3 minutes on this one, but I'll show you guys how to switch it back to the filter, and then I'll finish the video because I don't think you guys want to wait 10 minutes for the pool to go down. So to switch all of this off is the reverse order. So we're coming up, switch it off, we're going to come back to here, pushing down, waiting for the pressure to go out of the system, turn it around, nice and smooth, no crunchy bits, putting it back onto this little marker here, filter, and then going back up, and we should see a nice fast amount of water coming through the chlorinator cell. So switching on, boom, there we go. So that's coming down through the filter as it's supposed to. That's what it should be set on when the pool's operating, just at a day-to-day level. All right, thanks guys.